Big Ed's ittiest takes, a 90-day fiancé happily ever after pillow talk. You know what's crazy? Every time Big Ed opens his mouth, the internet collectively flinches like, oh no, what's he about to say now? But here's the twist. This time, his hottest takes aren't just cringy, they're kind of legendary. And I can't tell if we're laughing with him or surviving him, because let's be honest, Big Ed is like a human cliffhanger. Every word, every smirk, every completely unsolicited opinion feels like a deleted scene from chaos itself. And somehow, he knows it. He thrives on it. The man's basically reality TV's Thanos, collecting cringe moments like Infinity Stones. But tonight, we're diving into the forbidden territory of Big Ed's pillow talk opinions. The unfiltered, unapologetic, slightly too confident rants that made even the pillows uncomfortable. So before you scroll or sip your tea, I need you to hit that subscribe button. Because here on Breakdown Epic, we don't just watch the drama. We dissect the psychology of why people like Big Ed think they're always right. Even when they're so wrong, it loops back to entertainment gold. And oh, there are secrets hidden in these takes that 90-day producers definitely didn't want you to notice. Let's start with the first take, when Ade saw someone's messy love life and said, "Man, that's toxic." The irony. That line was basically him looking in a mirror and calling it self-care. You could feel the universe glitch. But that's what makes this episode so unhinged. Ed isn't just giving commentary, he's giving character study energy. You can practically hear the producers in the background whispering, "Just let him talk." He's giving us viral gold. And the fans? We're torn. Half of us are laughing, half of us are trauma scrolling, and a tiny percentage is whispering, maybe he's right. Which is honestly the scariest part. It's like watching a roast that accidentally becomes therapy. He'll say something like, "You should always be honest in a relationship." And you're like, "Sir, you literally hid your engagement like it was a CIA mission." That's the magic of Big Ed though. He's both the problem and the plot twist. Now let's talk about his delivery. The way he leans back, sips his drink, and drops relationship wisdom, as if he's hosting a TED Talk from another dimension. You can tell he believes every word. But the audience, we're watching like it's an ancient prophecy being read wrong. And I swear, every time he says, "If I were him," a producer somewhere writes another season. Because it's never, "If I were him." It's, "Thank God I'm not her." But what really turns this episode from funny to forbidden knowledge territory is how Ed turns every situation into a reflection of himself. Someone else could be fighting about trust, and he'll go, "You know, I've been there." And you're like, "Yeah, we know. We all watched it. We're still recovering." And that's the secret formula TLC doesn't tell you. Big Ed isn't on pillow talk to react. He's there to remind you that he's the main character, no matter who's on screen. Now pause and think. If you had to pick one cast member to give love advice, who would it be? Because if you picked Ed, I respect your bravery. Comment below with your answer, because I need to know if we're living in the same reality show. And while we're being honest, Big Ed might actually believe he's evolved. Like, he's entering his self-aware era. The way he laughs at other couples' mistakes feels like he's saying, "I've been through the storm, now I'm the weatherman." Except the weather is still 99% chance of emotional chaos. You can see it in his face. That little smirk that says, "I know something you don't." But the truth is, we all know. The secret he thinks he's hiding is written all over his history. The broken trust, the wild ego, the self-justifications. And pillow talk just makes it all louder. There's a forbidden knowledge in that. The truth that sometimes people don't grow, they just get better at explaining their flaws. And Ed, he's mastered the art of turning red flags into punchlines. Halfway through the episode, he drops another hot take. You gotta keep the spark alive. Which, coming from him, sounds less like advice and more like a plot twist waiting to explode. But that's why this episode is so fascinating. He's both the comic relief and the living warning sign. You can laugh, but deep down, there's that little voice saying, "Wait, am I seeing this because I've dated someone like this?" Don't lie. We've all known a Big Ed. That one person who turns every situation into a mirror. Now imagine this. If Big Ed had his own dating advice show, would you watch it ironically? Or take notes just to see what not to do? Because that's the poll for today. Is Big Ed self-aware, or just self-obsessed? Drop your vote in the comments. I'll be reading. And honestly, watching him react is like watching someone who thinks sarcasm is a personality. Every opinion feels rehearsed but also dangerously spontaneous, like he's seconds away from creating another viral meme by accident. You can't help but wonder, does he plan these moments? Or is this just pure, chaotic instinct? Because the forbidden secret here is that Big Ed doesn't just perform. He believes his own mythology. The cringe, the confidence, the constant need to justify. It's his version of control. And that's where the deeper loop starts. The man isn't acting for cameras anymore. He is the camera, watching everyone, including himself, through the lens of what makes him look right. You ever notice how Big Ed reacts like he's auditioning for his own reaction show? It's the meta moment nobody asked for, but somehow, we're all subscribed to it. Every time someone says something serious, he laughs like he's got insider info from the universe. But spoiler alert, Ed, the universe called, and it said, "Please stop giving relationship advice." It's wild because the man's confidence is bulletproof. You could hand him a mirror showing every mistake he's ever made, and he'd go, You know what, I look good and regret. That's the Ed effect. He makes delusion look like an Olympic sport. And honestly, you kind of have to respect it. Like, you know you've reached legendary status when your silence is funnier than your punchlines. He'll just raise an eyebrow, sip water, and the internet's like, he's doing it again. But there's something deeper here, a forbidden secret in his behavior that TLC keeps milking for ratings. Big Ed isn't just reacting to others, he's reacting to his own past version. Every take he drops on Pillow Talk is low-key a rebuttal to his own old footage. It's like he's rewriting history in real time. Remember that moment when he said, "Communication is everything in love." The audacity, right? This man once ghosted his fiancé mid-argument, and now he's quoting relationship TED Talks like he's Dr. Phil in a leather jacket. But that's the magic of TV. The more unaware you are, the funnier it gets. And Ed has unknowingly built his brand on unawareness. He's a self-roasting machine that doesn't know he's plugged in. Let's be honest. Every time he talks, someone out there is yelling, "Bro, no," at their screen, while someone else is like, "I can't believe he just said that." It's like a social experiment gone too far, and we're all the scientists taking notes. And if you're watching right now thinking, "Sophia, why do we even care this much?" Because deep down we love chaos. We crave it. Big Ed is reality TV's forbidden fruit. We know it's bad for us, but we can't stop biting. Now, here's a thought experiment. If Big Ed hosted a couples therapy show called Love and Advice, would it heal relationships or start new ones just so he could ruin them? Be honest. You'd watch. Comment "Was EDVC" if you'd tune in. What's so wild is that Pillow Talk turned him from a meme into a philosopher of delusion. And I don't mean that disrespectfully. Like, his takes are so confidently wrong they loop back into art. He's basically a modern-day Socrates of chaos. The only truth I know is that I know nothing about women, and the reactions from the rest of the cast. Oh, they're priceless. You can see them struggling not to break character. Some laugh, some roll their eyes, and one guy literally muttered, "I can't." Same, bro. Same. But here's where the forbidden knowledge kicks in. Ed's not clueless. Not entirely. He knows he's a walking headline. Every outrageous statement, every overconfident smirk. It's calculated. Controlled chaos. He feeds the narrative, and the narrative feeds him right back. Because think about it. If he stopped being that guy, TLC might move on. And Big Ed without attention. That's like a plot twist with no cliffhanger. Impossible. Now let's circle back to something funny. Remember when he said, "Every relationship needs honesty"? That's when I had to pause the video and check if I accidentally clicked on a parody. The man's got nerve, but that's what keeps him trending. And look, we joke, but let's not lie. Pillow Talk without Ed would feel too normal, too calm. Like, we'd miss that unpredictable spark, that, what did he just say? Energy. Big Ed is the glitch that keeps the simulation interesting. But let me drop a little secret. TLC doesn't promote Ed's chaos, actually sets the tone for the rest of the cast. His wild takes break the ice, they loosen the energy. And somehow even when we cringe we connect. Because his flaws, they're just exaggerated versions of our own. Think about it. Who hasn't overreacted in a relationship? Who hasn't said something dumb, and then doubled down because their ego wouldn't let them admit defeat? Ed just does it on TV. Loudly. Now imagine, if you had a friend like Ed, would you invite him to game night or block him forever? Because I'd invite him just to see how long it takes before someone flips the table. That's why Big Ed is the most accidentally brilliant reality star ever. He doesn't plan drama, he exists as drama. He's the meme and the moral lesson at the same time. And honestly, he might be the only person who could make a motivational poster that says, "Make mistakes, but make them entertaining." So, what's the takeaway from all this chaos? The secret truth behind Big Ed's hottest takes. It's simple. He's not the villain we think he is. He's the mirror. The one showing us that everyone's a little delusional about love, just with less camera time. That's the forbidden knowledge right there. You laugh at Big Ed because you've been Big Ed at least once. Maybe not on TV, but in your own story. The moment you gave bad advice, the moment you thought you were the wise one, but really you were the drama. So next time Ed drops a wild take, don't just roast him, learn from him. Or at least meme him respectfully. And before we wrap, let's take a quick poll. Would you survive a dinner conversation with Big Ed? Comment yes if you'd go for the chaos, or numpy if you value your sanity. Because honestly, I'd last 5 minutes before laughing myself into another dimension. So if you've been secretly obsessed with the unpredictable roller coaster that is Big Eddie, hit that subscribe button right now. Because on Breakdown Epic, we don't just watch reality TV, we decode it, one outrageous take at a time. And hey, if you think Big Ed's the most entertaining disaster of the franchise, wait till you see what I uncovered in the next Pillow Talk episode. Let's just say, one cast member's secret text messages might blow up the entire storyline. But that's for next time. For now, remember, reality TV doesn't create people like Big Eddie, it just gives them better lighting. I'm Sophia, and this was your Breakdown Epic. Stay curious, stay chaotic, and for the love of all that's cringe, don't take relationship advice from Pillow Talk.